Prism Power!
It's her! Serena Sailor Moon!
Oh, sorry. Where am I? Lately, I've been playing a lot of Japanese fashion games. So these last couple weeks, I've been compiling some fun Japanese fashion games that I thought you might all want to try. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Nina Gabriella. We love fashion games on this channel, so we have a lot to talk about. If you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps the channel. And also, my birthday is next week, so I'm going to be doing a fun birthday live stream. I'll have a bunch of stuff posted about it, along with some links in the description. There's going to be a Discord live stream and a YouTube live stream. I don't know. All the plans are coming into fruition, and I hope to see you there. I also have some behind the scenes members videos of some upcoming vlogs. I don't know if you know this yet, but I will be making a move to Japan in just a couple months. So I'm going to be talking about all the behind the scenes of what it's like preparing for that journey for my members. So if you want to see more of my Japanese journey, be sure to check out my member side of the channel. Also, this video is sponsored by Merge Gardens. Stay to the end to find out how you can play a free little game yourselves. Dead again? Ugh. Wish this could be easier.
Lucky for you, I know exactly the way to make it easier for you. This video is sponsored by Merge Gardens. In this game, you are playing as the lovely Daisy, who was just recently gifted this beautiful mansion from her uncle. Being gifted a beautiful mansion comes with a little bit of work as well. Her job is to help clean up this overgrown garden and restore it by merging items. Unlock new resources, expand your garden, and make it a beautiful paradise. There's a lot of hidden puzzles to solve, treasures to uncover, and a bunch of mysteries you didn't know about the mansion. So if you're a puzzle lover or a gardening enthusiast like myself, this could be the perfect game for you, because there's a whole lot to love about it.
For someone who loves flowers, this game's actually pretty cool. It's relaxing. I've been playing this game a lot this past weekend, especially since I've been traveling a lot for my birthday. This is definitely something I've been picking up, playing on the go. Honestly, this game's cozy and comfortable. I love all of the cute little animals in the game. There's lots of customization options. There's a many decor, and you know us fashion lovers love us some options, so you definitely get them in this game. Highly recommend checking this game out. Way better than trying to care for real plants, that's for sure. Best part about this game is that it is completely free. All you gotta do is scan this little QR code that you're looking at right here, or all you gotta do is check the link down in the description of today's video. Thank you so much, Merge Gardens, for sponsoring today's video, and I hope you guys check it out and build your own gardens for yourselves. Now, let's get back into the video. Low-key, why am I obsessed with this game? Oh, sorry. Anyways, enough rambling about the fashion games. Let's just talk about them. There are tons of Japanese fashion-related games out there, so I wanted to try to choose a couple games that you might not have heard of, starting with this game right here. This is called Pop Cutie Street Fashion Simulation. I got a chance to play each of these games that we're talking about for a couple weeks, so we're going to rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 to find out if they're worth playing. And by worth playing, I mean worth playing in 2025. So this game originally came out in Japan in 2008, and it went by the name That's Cutie, then later got a North American release going by the name Pop Cutie. Now, I'm actually surprised I've never heard of this game before because it's actually fairly popular. I don't know if many others of you have seen this game, but I was very surprised when I played this. This game is very quirky and cute. It kind of reminds me of something like maybe Tamagotchi Life or maybe like Draw to Life if anybody's ever played those games. But in this game, you are the head person for a brand new fashion boutique. You decide by making your character, which to be honest, I didn't feel like I had that many options. I was either be a boy or a girl. So, but your goal is to design clothes and sell them to build up your brand. But this game is a bit interesting because it's not your typical design your fashion for the runway. In this game, there's a twist. So you have to collect these keywords from people around town. And by combining the words, you are able to create different outfits, just kind of like Mad Libs or like I said, Draw to Life. Basically, you need these keywords to actually create the outfits. So I've never really seen something like this, at least fashion related, but the concept is super cool. And if you have seen this game, you should know this game is actually running for a lot of money right now in the DS. I think if you are to pick up this game right now, it's going for like $100. So I'm assuming like this game was pretty popular. Somebody's had to know about it. I guess it just wasn't me. But I guess this game's going on it's pretty expensive, so maybe play the Japanese version. It'll be a lot cheaper, I promise you. But as you progress in the game, you set up your shop, you stock it with a lot of your designs, and you can even hire employees to keep your shop running smoothly. But of course, you're not the only one that's like chasing the fashion fame. You actually have to fight off against rivals and have these like fashion battles where you're given a few items and you have to style the best outfit. So then the judge then scores your look based off of creativity, coordination, and flair. The game is just so weird to me, but it's quirky and fun. Like, I'm surprised I had never known about this game ahead of time because it's just kind of funny. But when I saw that title, like Pop Cutie Street Fashion, I'm like, okay, I know this is a Japanese game. Come on now. We don't see those little titles unless it is in Japan. So I was pretty excited when I saw this. But the game actually, you have to go through a lot of different stages. There's a lot of new objectives, and there's a lot of different parts of the cities that you can unlock the more that your store evolves. So as you get bigger, you can change locations, you get to face tougher competitors, and you just climb the fashion ladder. It's a really weird game, but it's actually one of the most interesting games I think I've played on this list. Well, maybe not the most interesting, but I will say I actually really enjoyed this for what it is. It's definitely a DS game. So it has its quirks as if you were playing the Brain Age games for the first time. It definitely will throw you for a loop, but that being said, I really enjoyed it. Personally speaking, I think I'm gonna have to give this game a good, we're gonna start off strong. I think I'm gonna give this game a good 4 out of 5. I know that seems pretty high, but this game just had so much to like about it. It's hard to really find things I didn't like about it. And come on guys, it's a DS game, okay? Not that the bar is low, but I will say this was fun enough for me enjoying fashion games for me to actually want to play this for a long period of time. So that's why I fully believe that if you want a kind of DS fashion game, we're starting off strong on this list, and I think this might be one you might want to pick up. The more you progress in the game, you get so much more customization options, and it's just such a funny game. They add a lot of little quirks and stuff, and the characters you meet are just super cool and weird that I feel like if you like untraditional fashion games, this could definitely be the one. Being that this is a retro game, it might be a little harder to find, but I mean, hey, if you got an emulation system or your DS is hacked, you might be doing just fine. Let's move on. So this game is a little different as well. This game is called Love and Berry Dress Up and Dance. It originally released in Japan in 2004 and did not have an international release. Now, while we are talking about the DS version of this game today, this actually was a collectible card game that was developed and published by Sega for arcades. In Japan, this game was super popular. These game machines were installed in so many department stores, in children's stores, all kinds of stuff. Basically, players receive one card at the start of the game with barcodes on them that stores information for new outfits, accessories, hairstyles, and then in 2006, there was over 180 different collectible cards. It basically was like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon, and they were all fashion-related things. This game printed out over 104 million cards, so this game was very popular. The game only costs about 100 yen to play, and it dispenses a new card each time the game is played. And if you swipe your old card in the machine, then players can change the hair, the dress, shoes, and makeup of the characters in the arcade game Love and Berry. Then the game kind of proceeds into like a rhythm-like game, which is kind of what we're talking about today. Now these girls right here, Love and Berry, they were pretty popular back in the day. Basically, the story of these two girls is that the two of them are magical witches who possess this power of fashion magic. There's like an anime about them, they got all this kind of lore, but their fashion magic allows them to change clothes whenever they want. Now, as that arcade game machine started becoming more popular, they decided to make a DS version of the game. So in this DS version of the game, the DS has this almost bottom slot, which could read the barcode of those cards that children and youth would get out of the special machines. And similar to the arcade machine, you would swipe your little card in the DS system, and that would allow you to change the outfits of Love and Berry. So this is what the game kind of looks like. They definitely look a little crunchier than they did in the anime version you guys saw. There are a couple differences between the arcade game and the DS game. In this one, there's like a story mode, there's a rival that, you can play as a boy, I believe. But this game kind of mixes fashion and rhythm games. Basically, in the rhythm portion of the game, the player has to tap on the buttons in time to this tambourine, and that's how the characters do their dances. But it also is based off of the fashion of whatever your character, whether you choose Love or Berry, on their outfit on top of the dancing to give you an overall score to determine who the winner is. So you're either going up against whoever is in the game, or you're going up against, Love or Berry if you didn't choose them. Okay, now you kind of understand the lore of this game and why it has been picked with these other DS games. It's definitely not your traditional Japanese fashion game, but that's exactly why I decided to play it. Now, I'm going to be honest, this is one of those games where I don't think the developers really know how this was going to go long term, because the issue I had about this game is that I couldn't really win any points for the fashion in this game because I didn't own any of those J-pop fashion cards to really play this. So my character had to stick with the standard basic ugly outfit, and I was trying to figure out why that was the case, but after reading up on the game, I know exactly why, because I don't own any of the fashion cards to change Love and Berry's outfits. I will say the story mode of the game is a bit interesting. I don't think that was in the original arcade version of the game, but in the story mode, you learn a little bit more about the characters and these different places that they're going to, but it doesn't necessarily add to the story as much. It just kind of gives you another way you can play the game in a kind of strange way. Also, here's the screen, by the way, if you wanted to know what it kind of looks like. Yeah, I didn't have any of the things to insert to really play the game, so Homegirl just kind of looked like that. But for the time, I definitely think this is probably crazy. They even had a special pink colored DS Lite that promoted this game even more. So for what it was at the time, I can definitely see this being a big hit. But for now, with me not having that card system, it was a bit difficult for me to really get the most out of the fashion portion of this game. So I say just for that alone, I can't rate this super highly. As far as the actual rhythm part of the game, I don't think it was super bad. Maybe this was just my opinion because I hadn't really played a tambourine rhythm game. Okay, maybe we're playing taiko drums, but for tambourine, I thought it was a bit interesting. I was kind of screwing up, but maybe I'm just not musically talented. But I'm going to be honest, without the fashion portion of the game, I feel like my score was pretty bad each time I played it. And granted, it was a little hard for me playing it on my system, but without the fashion and the dance rhythm part, it was really hard for me to win against my counterpart just because I didn't have everything necessary to play the game. So with that, I'm going to have to give this game a good 2.5 out of 5. Unfortunately, I just didn't like it. The game looked kind of crappy. And unless you have one of those card reader things laying around your house, you might have a difficult time with this one. I will say though, if you're studying Japanese, the Japanese in this game was very easy to read, so I wouldn't stress about that. But otherwise, it's a pass for me.
学校で初めてのダンスパーティーがあるんだけど、このワンピースくらいしか持ってなくって、形は気に入ってるわ。でも柄が地味よね。それに裾のところが気に入らない。あなたのファッションセンスでこの服をおしゃれにアレンジしてくれないかな。
Now, if you watch this beginning scene, you might think that this game looks very similar to a game you might have played when you were younger, and that's because it's, I think, the same game. This game is called Girls Fashion 3D Mezace, I guess, Mezace, whatever that means, Top Stylist. But in North America, or when it was re-released for English, this game is known as Imagine Fashion Designer 3D. But the covers on these games look very, very different. I didn't even know these were the same game. Now, this isn't the first time where Ubisoft has done this, where basically a game that was imported from Japan gets a completely different title here in the United States and in North America. So I guess I can't be super surprised, but the covers of these games look completely different, that I was really surprised that I was opening up the same game. So for the purpose of this, we're just going to play the Japanese version to see if we see any differences. For the most part, the game is relatively the same. There are a couple things that I noticed that are a bit different. This game originally came out for the 3DS in 2007. Now, my theory is that I found like an old article basically from Electric Entertainment Expo talking about the release of Ubisoft trying to target young girls to play video games. So they had a whole series dedicated to girls ages 6 to 14 that were all coming out at the same time. So the same time Imagine Fashion Designer came out, Imagine Animal Doctor, Imagine Babies, Imagine Master Chef, and Imagine Figure Skater all came out. So I'm assuming they probably had to go through some budget cuts, or maybe had to speak with the original developers to try to get these games imported as soon as possible. So that probably just led to just changing the design of the game to make it seem like all of these games are in the same series, when in reality they probably weren't. Because one thing you will notice about the Imagine games is none of them have a clear, cohesive look to their games. They all look different, but for whatever reason, they're all in the Imagine series, so I guess they can be imagined to whatever you think they are. But alright, let's talk about the game a little bit. In Imagine Fashion Designer, you are a Manhattan designer handling all aspects of the fashion business. I guess in this version, I don't know if you are a Manhattan designer. I didn't catch that in the intro. But in this game, you are creating your own line of fashion for photo shoots, and if you're playing the game online, it allows you to share designs with other people. So you're kind of like working with clients and you're sharing your designs, so you become, well, the best fashion designer. Now, as much as I love the Imagine games, this was one of the Imagine games that I was a little about. Being completely honest, I think I was more disappointed because I just thought this was a different game than what it was, but I'd already played so much of it, I was like, we're going to include it in here anyway. But I think the thing that kind of makes this game a little bit disappointing is that it kind of feels like you're in a non-real world. And I get it, it's like an imaginable world, but I think this game could really use some more story because, you know, you play the whole game in these weird little coloristic bubbles and stuff that you're looking at. So it just kind of doesn't feel as realistic as maybe you would want if you were playing a fashion design game. I do like the idea of designing your own clothes. I think that adds a fun element to it. But knowing now this was probably one of the first Imagine Fashion related games compared to all the other Imagine Fashion games that they made after that, and I still have an idea to just put all of those fashion games in one video so we can talk about them, so just stay tuned for that. But being that this was one of the first ones, I can't say I can rate this super highly. It's gonna be a good 2 out of 5 stars for me. It's not the worst fashion game, but it's not the best. But compared to all the other games we're talking about today, it has to be a little on the lower ranking scale. We'll see where it falls when I do a full deep dive of some of the other Imagine Fashion games, but in comparison to the games we're talking about today, this DS game is really just if you really, really are itching to play it. But hey, I don't know, maybe your nostalgia is going to be the reason why you pick up this game, but for me, I'd rather just play Style Savvy in my opinion. But let's move on to the next one. This game right here is called Fab Style, and this game was also released by Kohei, the company that made Pop Cutie that we talked about earlier. Now, this game actually came out for the 3DS. It released in 2011 and never got a release outside of Japan. Now, I gotta say, this game right here, I had a lot of fun with. Let's talk about the story of this game. This game is set in the fictional Japanese city of Harbor City. It's a hotspot for fashion and entrepreneurship, and you play as a young woman who inherits her older sister's boutique. So her goal is to win the prestigious Platinum Trophy Award in Harbor City's Business Award competition. But the goal of the game is really to live a quote-unquote fabulous life. So not only is she juggling the boutique, but she's also juggling her college classes, her love life, and there's a bunch of other stuff you can do. The game takes place over the course of 4 years in game, which represents each level in the business award competition: the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. To move up, you have to hit these specific sales goals each year in your boutique, and your performance is judged monthly. And once you pass one level, you're instantly promoted to the next one. But on top of that, you also have to balance your life outside of your boutique. So you have your work time where you can buy and stock inventory, you have your free time to boost your stats, relationships, and then you have your monthly evaluations to see how your store is doing. Stocking your store is a bit of a strategy in this game. You have to buy clothes based on your current business level, and each brand represents a different Japanese fashion style. There's casual, gal, gorgeous, seasons affect the inventory too. So there's a whole bunch you can do in here to live out your CEO dreams with a cute wardrobe. But outside of your boutique life, there still is a lot you can do. There's an academy feature where you can take classes that feature real-world concerns regarding the fashion era. There's also the beauty parlor. You can go to the salon, make your hair look nice. There's the exhibition hall where you can buy a lot more clothing for your store. There's a cafe. There's a park where you get a chance to meet a male character, and that's where your protagonist can have a love interest. So it can even be like a dating sim, and even romance really affect different things happening within the story as well. So there is a lot going on in this game, and let me just say, from what I played of this game already, I loved it. I really, really love this. This game is actually super cool. I believe I'm playing the 3DS version of this game. I believe there is also a DS version of this game as well. I was really struggling to figure out when they were both released. From what I can tell, I think they were both released sometime around 2011. But for a Japanese game, there is a lot of things to do in here, especially customizations. Like, my character may not be like super dark skin. I mean, but look at her. She's tan enough, more than I got out of Style Savvy, so I'll take it. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I think what kind of sold me is the romance feature in this game, because I mean, that is the one thing that I kind of wish Style Savvy had. If anybody knows of the Style Savvy series, or if you've seen my video talking about some of the Style Savvy games, that is the one thing I think this game, or one thing I think that game needed, was maybe like a little bit more of life outside of your boutique, And I mean, like, look at him, okay? He's looking like the guys don't look bad in this game, guys, okay? If I'm not selling it to you, then let me tell you, I don't know what other reason you wouldn't want to play the game. Like, I mean, come on, guys. He's so cute. Anyway. But no, seriously speaking, this game actually is a lot of fun, and it adds a lot of the things that I would like to see in more modern versions of fashion games. The reason why I love making these videos talking about fashion games is because they don't make enough fashion games anymore. A lot of them are online based or maybe on your phone, but when we had good fashion games for our consoles, it was all I really liked playing as a kid. So sometimes I like to take a look to see what other games are out there in other countries. So like I said earlier, if there's a game that you think I should talk about, please just write it in the comments below. Ping me, tag me, I don't know. I will see it so we can talk more about them. And another thing about this game that actually makes it really cool is that this was actually a pet project of, I want to say her name's Keiko Irikawa. She was a woman who was, a bit of an influential figure. So she actually partnered with this game's development and goal because she firmly believed that women in Japan didn't have a lot of exposure to business. So that's why she wanted to partner with this game and inspire those who wanted to get into the business industry while also letting you know you can still manage your day-to-day life. So I think even today in a modern, if there was a modern version of this game, I think a lot of people would love it. Like we do like things like Fashion Dreamer, yuck. We do like games like Style Savvy and, you know, some of those other modeling fashion games, but something like this is just modern, it's fresh, and for it coming out in, you know, the early 2000s, I just, guys, I love to see it. I personally am going to rate this game a good 5 out of 5 stars. I know it's crazy, we're not even at the last game yet, but I gotta say, this was high on my list, and I personally believe you guys will love it. I hope you can find it. I was able to find this easily, but I think you will as well, and I hope you check it out. の子待望のおしゃれコーディネートゲームがついに登場。毎日のコーディネートをもっと楽しく。任天堂 DS 専用ソフトウーペガール DS 好評発売中。アルビオン。So the last fashion game that we are talking about today is called Pope Girl. So this game actually was recommended to me in my comment section, so shout out to those of you who recommended this to me. I forgot the actual comment that I found this from, but I know I had responded to it, so thank you, shout out to you. So this is not your traditional Japanese fashion game either. This game was actually a Japanese avatar and fashion community where people would upload photos of their clothes and earn website currency to dress up their avatars. So it was originally created by Cyber Agent. In Japan in 2008, it was originally had been founded, and Pope Girl was then relocated to Ameba in 2009, so a different company, and it ended its website servers in 2013. But you can definitely say this game was popular for when it had come out. When the website had first launched, it had over 560,000 users on this online game. So the fact that I hadn't even had heard this, I was like, what? That's really crazy. Granted, this was in Japan though. So they also had released a licensed number of video games, which is right here, the Nintendo DS. And it even had a Facebook game as well. So Pope Girl is really out here. She's very established actually. So in the original game, you had this currency called ribbons, which you could earn by completing various fashion tasks, logging in, dressing up your avatar, kind of like a little gacha game, similar sort of experience. And then the website implemented a new currency, jewels, which was a pay-to-play system where users would be able to access clothing and items that non-paying users could. So similarly to here, you are using ribbons as currency and you're doing some tasks and things like that. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know if I was playing Pope Girl DS or Pope Girl DS2. There are two different versions of the game. To be honest, I really forgot, but from what I could tell, the games are fairly similar. I think they just added different fashion items in either parts of the game. It didn't, in my opinion, it didn't seem like there was too much different for either versions of them, but you know, I don't know. I honestly had forgotten, and I was having so many struggles with my emulation system playing this game. Like, my character looks like that, as you can see on the screen, because it was not letting me click on things, so I was very stressed out. But basically in Pope Girl, you get to create your own character, decide your hairstyle, fashion, all that good stuff, customize her, and then you take her out and shop in Pope Town. The town is full of little boutiques. There's over 2,000 items in the games that you can buy from, and there's lots of dresses and things you can pick out along the way. There's also dress-up contests where you can earn ribbons, you can meet friends, and you can this game actually was multiplayer, as a total of 8 people could join your game. So there's a lot you could do in this game when it was still up and bustling. Now, looking at the gameplay as I'm recording this, I believe I was playing the first version. In the second version of the game, you are able to, or you don't have the ability to sell clothes. You're going to interact differently with the characters to come up with different outfits. So that's kind of like, I guess, the bigger difference I want to say. But generally speaking, I don't know if I really enjoyed this game as much as I thought I was. It seemed like there was a lot of hype around it, but I do feel like it's a bit dated if I compare this game to some of the now more pronounced fashion games. I will say I like the fashion in this game. I like to see all the different alt type of fashions, a lot of the early kind of 2000s looks. That to me was really nice to see, but it does give me kind of like an earlier sort of fashion dreamer vibe, in the sense that you are spending a lot of time on customer characterization on top of talking to these like NPC characters that have very similar sayings. As far as Japanese, I don't think it's super difficult. I was able to read a lot of it, but I do think this is kind of just if you really like certain type of fashions and you just kind of want to spend some time creating these cute little characters. So I think for that, like nostalgic purposes, I think this might be a good game for people who like those type of fashion experiences. But I think for me in a fashion game, I like to have the full experience along with creating a boutique and being able to do a couple things that aren't just, well, I guess creating the fashion, but it really depends on what you like to get out of a fashion game. For me specifically, I'm gonna give this a good 3.5 out of 5 stars. I liked it, but I do think it's missing a couple things for me in terms of what I'm looking for now in today's modern era of fashion gaming. So completely up to you on that. Let me know if you think I missed or hit the mark on this. And that's my list of Japanese fashion games. Let me know what you guys think of this list. Did I get anything wrong? Is there a fashion game on this list you thought should have been higher, should have been lower rates? You tell me. I want to know all about it in the comments below, on top of if I should make a part 2 of some more Japanese fashion games that we should all check out together. But in the meantime, this is all I have for you guys. Fun, and I hope you hit that like and subscribe button as well. And huge thank you to Merge Gardens for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget to check that link in the description. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye! I'm gonna be a birthday girl in a week, and I'm super excited. I'm gonna be a birthday girl in a week, and I'm really excited. Oh my gosh, my shoulders. Bye!